Somebody asked me recently, what questions am I answering all the time? I think they wanted me to set it up in a bot, but I'm not going to. But the question was, what are the common questions that I am constantly answering? I talked about them in a recent video, last week's video maybe. Is it normal? Will I ever get better? What do I do? How do I do this? Will I ever get over it? Those are the sorts of questions that are getting answered. So, as I said in the other video, 90% is normal. Will it get any better than where you are right now? Yes. What you do depends on where you are in the process. There are things to do, but it varies a lot, and their effectiveness varies. Will you ever get over it? There's a long conversation there about what we mean by getting over it. Are you going to get over it like go back to who you were before? No, because your sense of self has taken such a hit. We're all identified with the people we love, and when one of them dies, our sense of self changes. And one of the things that people often talk about early on is, I have no idea who I am. And that can continue right through the first year and into the second. I have no idea who I am anymore. So that's certainly something I try to answer. So those are the short answers to those questions. What I really wanted to talk about today is what's underlying them. Because people may not even ask those questions. I have just learned that those tend to be the things that are bothering people. So I try to answer them, especially early on. And underneath those questions is the fear. Early grief can be positively terrifying, panic-inducing. What do I do now? What is my life going to be like? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to react. I don't know how to behave. I don't know how, and it just keeps overtaking me, and it's awful. It's awful. And people don't know what to do. The other thing that people are really fearing, because none of us do well with this, is grief requires us to live with the kind of uncertainty we're not comfortable with. Nobody's comfortable with. Everything is up for grabs. And we don't like that. None of us like that. We want to know what's going to happen. We want to know where we're going. We want to know all of those things. So that's a piece of it too. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? First of all, I beat this drum a lot. I know you're probably tired of hearing it. Get support. Because being that afraid and trying to get through it by yourself is horrible. When we're afraid, we need comfort, we need some relief, we need a hug. we need those things. We can't do this on our own. Can't do it well on our own, especially if the fear is such a big piece of it. So that's one thing. Get support. Find the friend or two who can walk with you through this if you have them. Find the family members, if they are available to you, who can do that. They're not always available because they're experiencing their own grief and it may not quite match up with yours. So, because they had a different relationship and their timing's different and all sorts of things are different. So that doesn't always work. But there are groups, well-facilitated groups. There is counseling, coaching, therapy. You probably need to interview people quite a bit to find the right fit because everyone says they do grief and many of them don't. Just saying. Having someone to walk beside you through it makes a huge difference. Whether you're in the first few months or in the first year or beyond. Because for spousal grief, it's not done at a year. 18 months seems to be a turning point, but then you're faced with the question, okay, what next? What's my life going to look like? Who am I now in this new reality? And there's a whole another level of uncertainty there that needs to be addressed. So really the first thing is just be honest with yourself that that's what you're feeling. Because what a lot of people do is they end up trying to stuff it. I'm strong and there's nothing wrong. Anyone who tells me they're trying to be strong, it's a red flag for me. It just is. This person's struggling, really struggling. And the other one is people turning into the Energizer Bunny, just trying to stay so busy that they'd love to outrun the pain. It doesn't work like that. So the first thing is just to acknowledge that you are in this reality, and it's frightening and it's full of uncertainty, and cultivate a sense of being present with that, as well as all the other feelings going on. But underneath a lot of those other feelings is this fear. So allow yourself to be present to it. Cultivate a sense of compassion, self-compassion. Recognize how hard this is and that you are not flawed because you're in this state. A lot of people really feel that, and it breaks my heart because there's nothing wrong with what you're feeling. What's wrong is somebody died and it feels wrong that you're here, but your response to that death is not flawed. So cultivate self-compassion. Get curious about what's really going on, what you're really afraid of, what kind of support would be helpful to you, what your next step is. This certainly helps to not take on the whole thing like you're at 3 months after your spouse died and all of a sudden you're thinking about what your life's going to be like in 2 years. It's like you can't even begin to imagine that right now. And if you try, that's quite daunting. It's not nearly as daunting at 18 months. I promise, it's not. So stay focused on the present and be gentle with yourself. Lots of good self-care. At the very least, going for a walk every day, getting creative, dancing, painting, writing. Writing is a big deal for me. Right after groups, it's my second go-to. Ask your questions there. Think about what would help you feel less afraid right now. And don't think up the answers, because what you think up is probably not going to be right. Allow the answers to emerge. Allow them to reveal themselves one step at a time. That's how you navigate it. Not by trying to manage it or being strong or trying to run away or any of that stuff. Not by managing it, but by being present to it in the moment and letting it take you where you need to go. And learning to trust that. And that's hard. It's hard. And yet I will tell you, after all of these decades of doing this work, that I have a tremendous respect for grief and how trustworthy it is. Because it really does take us where we need to go. And get support, because it really, really does help. It can make all the difference. It can make all the difference. So reach out if I can help. I do single session consults. I have groups. One group right now, hopefully to expand that into others. But the help is available. All the links are on YouTube. And yeah, reach out if I can help. All right? You take care. Be well. Bye-bye.